I wouldn't consider myself the luckiest person. I tend to have my luck fail when I want something to happen the most, but sometimes you get so unlucky that it circles around to being comical. Well, comical in hindsight, in the present, it was very much incredibly annoying. Oh my god. Allow me to tell you the tale of the unluckiest Pokemon battle I have ever had. This all went down in a Pokemon Emerald Rogue run against the Elite Four member Lorelei. I was on the best run of my life, and I thought I had a pretty good squad to pull up with. I was running a Sharpedo, Hydreigon, Slowbro, Claydol, Giratina, and Primarina. In hindsight, it was not a good team for facing the Ice Elite Four when half my team is weak to ice in some capacity. The battle began with Lorelei leading with Alolan Ninetales. I quickly switched from my Sharpedo into my leftover Slowbro. Alolan Ninetales proceeded to land the 60% accurate Hypnosis. After waking up from that sleep, I'm greeted with my new worst enemy, Freeze Dry. For the uninitiated, Freeze Dry is a 70 base power Ice-type move that is also super effective on Water-type Pokemon, and also has a 10% chance to freeze the target. Keep in mind that 10% chance, it will be relevant later. Regardless of the 10% chance, that also now means that Lorelei has a super effective move against my entire team, which, you know, isn't great. I managed to take the second Freeze Dry instead of Amnesia to boost my special defense to tank the hits a little better. After a heal and 3 Freeze Dries, I'm still okay. But on the 4th Freeze Dry, my fate runs out and I'm frozen. I unfreeze, take 2 more Freeze Dries for setting up another Amnesia, but then we get to the 7th Freeze Dry and I'm frozen again. Repeat the heal into Freeze Dry again, except this time I'm frozen immediately after unthawing. I unthaw again and am immediately frozen again. For the record, this is 9 Freeze Dries, and I have been frozen for 4 of them. The pain stops for the 10th and 11th, allowing me to deal some minor damage to Ninetales. At that point, I just enter into full PP stall mode because I have no other option, and then I get put to sleep by Hypnosis again, which is giving it a 100% hit rate for both the two of them. I wake up in the 12th, 13th, and 14th Freeze Dry, leave me unscathed, but the 3rd Hypnosis lands yet again. Still batting for 100 on that one, which allows me to remain unfrozen, and then after some sleep turns, I finally defeat Lorelei's first Pokemon. This took 10 minutes. Lorelei sends in her second Pokemon, Alolan Sandslash, and immediately uses Knockoff, thus removing my only passive healing option for Slowbro. Eventually, I whittle down Sandslash, and after Sharpedo dies to a Knockoff, I send out Giratina to finish off Sandslash with Aura Sphere. Then Lorelei sends out Lapras, and we return to the same situation as with Ninetales. Claydol is sacrificed to heal Slowbro. I send Slowbro in and immediately begin setting up with Amnesia to prepare for the longest battle of attrition possible. And thankfully, after a few Freeze Dries that don't actually freeze me, I'm fully set up to tank these hits. And of course, after doing so, I am immediately frozen. I unthaw, immediately frozen again. I unthaw, and manage to at least heal a bit, and then the next attack, I'm frozen again. I unthaw, immediately frozen again. To put things in perspective, I have not gotten an attack off yet. I have just been healing or unfreezing. And after that final unfreeze, I finally managed to get my first attack in, and then my second. And also, you can just assume every attack I'm not mentioning is a Freeze Dry that didn't freeze me, because it's basically the only move they use, because it's super effective and naturally they're going to use it. Another fun thing that happened here is that I forgot that Lapras has Water Absorb and accidentally healed Lapras because my Psychic ran out of PP, and so I used Surf. But thankfully, the freezes start to slow down and I'm able to actually land a killing blow on Lapras. However, that battle took 5 minutes. Articuno is the next Pokemon out, and the next verse is the same as the first, another Freeze Dry stall. The second hit this time decides it wants to freeze me. I unthaw. The 3rd Freeze Dry thankfully doesn't actually freeze me this time. And then after a few more missed freezes, because I have to heal, I finally land my first hit on Articuno, but then I find out a fun detail. Articuno has Roost, which means this battle will go on for all eternity. My only win conditions are PP stalling Roost or stacking enough special defense drops to do meaningful damage. I get the first drop, and the next Psychic does over half. I get a crit on the second hit, and my 3rd Surf brings it into red, after it roosts. And then this repeats for a few turns. I use an Ether on Psychic to finally get some more damage potentially, and then I get frozen again. Thankfully, I'm allowed to move again after being unfrozen, is what I would say if I didn't get immediately frozen after slacking off one more time. I waste yet another item thawing out and then healing again, and finally I land another Psychic, and Articuno runs out of roosts, and I finally defeat the bastard. That was another 5 minutes on a singular Pokemon. Thankfully, after this, we have Kingdra, who is probably the least annoying of the bunch because it doesn't have Freeze Dry, and it just uses Substitute, which my Psychic breaks immediately. So after 2 of those, Kingdra is gone, and I'm finally on to Lorelei's last Pokemon, Cloyster. I heal up my Slowbro once more to tank the very obvious Icicle Spear because it's a Cloyster, it only knows multi-hit moves because they're going to hit 5 times. And after 2 Psychics, voila, Lorelei's defeated. It would have been 1 if that Cloyster didn't have Focus Sash. And finally, the grand total, I was frozen 11 times, put to sleep 3 times, and roost stalled exactly once. I finally finished this god-forsaken fight. And I'm happy to report I won that Emerald Rogue run after. But that singular fight was the most I've ever been frozen in my entire Pokemon career. And I just want to preserve this hellish fight. That wasn't really that hard, all things considered. It was just incredibly annoying.